I just want to say that I've been to these meetings, and first of all, I want to say how much I appreciate you as a board struggling with this. I mean, this is a huge, huge, huge headache, and it's a huge, huge, huge responsibility. So thank you very much for being willing to stay with this and hold this and work with this. And I think that part of what's going on here, what I'm feeling is that there's an anxiousness, not that you are scurrilous or anything like that, but that we understand in this age in which we live now, we understand somewhat the complexities of what you're dealing with. I mean, or we don't understand them, and that is scary. And so what I'm hearing being said here is the suggestion that what is needed is the brilliance of the whole community, really. And whatever resources we can pull from the outside to help us with this. And it's all of us. We understand that you don't want to bring something into the community that's going to threaten the health of the community. Please understand that. We know that. And there is a fear, you know, and we appreciate that you went in with the attorney to talk about the possibility of being sued. It's not the first time in this community that that's happened. And if that were to be the case, then we would stand as a community. We would stand as a community and deal with this. We've dealt with it before, and we would do it again. And it would not be a good move for the corporation to sue a small town, because this little town is known everywhere, and that would go out and create such waves that people would understand that, you know, that you can stand up. So anyway, I just want to
At one point to Bob, you know, if there's, this board may meet once a month, but if there's 300 people that have something to say, I receive information for the board every day. There's someone in this office pretty much every day. If I receive letters, if I receive phone calls, if I receive people, anything anybody says goes directly to the board. So there's not just one time a month to have a say on this issue. We're here all the time. And any information I receive goes directly to them.
It does know that there's a lot of community concern.
Well,
there you are.
You don't need a bachelor's degree in
Okay.
psychology. You don't even need a master's, an AA degree.
Well, I just wanted to say that I'm sure you know we've been circulating a petition just over the last few days. I mean, we started it Thursday night, and just over a few days we've collected over 200 signatures. And so very few people have refused to sign the petition. I mean, I would say over 90% of the people that we've talked to have signed it. So it's not like a legal kind of petition where everybody had to be a registered voter or something like that, but it was a test of public opinion. Because we really wanted to see, is this really something that the community really cares about?
Are you withholding that from us, or are you going to share it?
I'd like to read the petition.
Yeah.
I've not seen it at all.
Absolutely. Okay. What I did was
Are you
some of the names have been.
Can we have a copy?
Absolutely. See, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because some of the names have been handed to me tonight, because a lot of people were collecting signatures.
You can come to the meeting from now. That's fine.
So we want to make copies of all this before I just absolutely turn it over to you to keep. That's what I'm hesitating about.
No problem.
But read this, and then I want to collect the.
Do you not have blanks?
Oh, I do have blanks. Okay, I could give you this, but I did make you each a copy of. Well, those were the names that we had as of this afternoon, but then a lot more names got turned in. So it's over 200 already.
We still need the petition.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Thank you.
Here's the.
Was that the latest version? Rachel?
Is it changed?
So are people signing two different versions?
Is it materially the same?
Yes, it's materially the same. The order of the language was changed on a later one, but it was not anything different about
The content.
the content was the same,
Just
exactly the same.
clarified.
Yeah.
Can we keep this? Can I keep this?
Oh yeah, keep it.
Someone came to my door today and tried to get me to sign it.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Did you sign it?
Petition to myself.
Yeah, I petitioned myself.
Yeah, but your wife could.
Rachel, could we have a copy?
Oh yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
It says here in 2000 and 2005, Bolinas fire boards agreed to limit levels of microwave radiation in the future to then current levels. And we've not been able to find that agreement. So if anybody actually has a copy of that, it would be helpful.
I've been vigorously reading the minutes, and there is a reference in minutes in 2005 to a previous agreement with community members regarding maintaining the limit, not raising the limit.
I would like to see that agreement.
Do you have a copy?
I'd be happy to get a copy for you guys.
But can you find the agreement, or is it just a reference?
Your minutes are all online except for the year 2009 and 2010, and you can actually use some choice wording and Google it and bring up the exact minutes. Right now, I'm still
And it'll say that a majority
because
of
I've been
board members
reading
voted at a
years.
public meeting.
It wasn't a vote; it was a discussion.
And it wasn't an agreement.
It was a discussion referencing the fact that a previous board had agreed to this. And so I noticed that it's come up twice in the minutes since 2002.
We did the exact same research. Molly and I went all the way back, and it is referenced several times, but there's never an agreement.
Which is why we
Correct.
asked for the
Right.
officially, documented resolution of the board.
That's a legitimate request to make, but in the absence of any agreement by any form of board that we're able to produce, then we're not really talking about simply reconfirming an agreement that a
I
prior
see.
board made.
Right.
We're talking about taking some kind of new action that's never been taken before.
Which is an agenda item that's still.
Yeah, that was great. This
Further
meeting is
down.
going to go until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Are we?
Anybody say anything?
Yeah, what else?
We have
What
jobs.
do we need to do?
These were the ones that we had as of this afternoon, and then we'll give you a more complete list. We'll this is okay. Or maybe I gave you. I don't know if I gave it. So we'll send you the complete list tomorrow with all the added on names.
Okay, so, does anyone else have any comments to make about continuing this item to April 25? Mary?
Oh, well, yes, I just want to thank you all for your effort. The thing, as an artist, what didn't work for me tonight was we were invited to come and participate, and then you all went in closed session, and that felt sort of harsh to me, like, oh, where are they? And we were sort of beginning to look around for where you were.
It was an hour.
So, we had to wait here for 1 hour. And so, I'm just going to recommend that maybe you could consider next meeting to have it be a little bit different structure so that we can feel not blocked out. I mean, that makes us a feeling of being blocked out.
Yeah.
In other words,
That's not
do the
unreasonable.
closed
I'm in
session.
favor of meeting in closed session prior to.
Yes.
We would open the public meeting, but that would be a formality, and we would then go into a closed session that hopefully we could end closer to the normal start time for the meeting. I personally would like to avoid a situation where you're sitting around waiting, and we're trying to have a discussion worried about you sitting around and waiting. So.
Yeah. Point registered, and I happen to agree.
I think it's, but wasn't it in the hearsay today that there would be?
Still, it's the whole feeling of just
Yeah,
sitting.
no, I agree, but it was in the hearsay. It was not.
I don't get the hearsay instance.
Yeah, the agendas are posted.
Well, I see that you all, it appears to me that you feel overwhelmed, and there's this feeling of and with good reason, because it is an overwhelming subject, and but what I would really like, but I feel like a resistance, and I just want you to know we're with you. We're with you. We want to work out something together so we'll all be safe. And yet there's this feeling of resistance, you know. And but I just want you to know we're with you, and we want to help you.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh yes, okay, here's my sign.
So we are continuing this item to the April 25 meeting, and that brings us to action item number 2. And I would be interested in what comments other board members have about this, but it seems premature to try to move forward with the application from T-Mobile until we're able to resolve the AT&T situation. Anita?
Well, here would be my comments, and Maria is here for Sutro Consulting. We did receive this application too late to take it under consideration at the February meeting. We have all the information. We did receive an RF emissions compliance report based on my recommendation to them what the board might ask for. If you have requests for information or discussion to have with T-Mobile now or with Maria, I mean, what we did with AT&T was, okay, you have this application before us, here's information that we need to make this decision. If you have the same request of T-Mobile, that's something that we can.
Well, I think the crux of it is that we're trying to get the best data we can get on what the cumulative exposure will be with the AT&T proposal and the T-Mobile proposal, and so I don't see how we can move forward with the request of T-Mobile until we've clarified all the issues that have to do with our contractor, and so it's difficult for us to deal with a subcontractor when we haven't been able to, come to grips with the main issue.
It's not clear if we had EMF data from T-Mobile that we could just add them together. It's not clear we'll be able to combine them to come up with some cumulative thing easily. Maybe you have a suggestion.
Well, one of my comments is that we do not have access to AT&T's corporate information. We wouldn't be able to take their data and send somebody here. T-Mobile doesn't even have antennas on the site. Our report is based on modeling because there's nothing to measure. Secondly, I understand that the community is concerned about the FCC standards, but by law, this is the only set of criteria that we have to go by. And by law, an application cannot be denied because of the perception that those limits are outdated or unsafe. We have to work within this framework until the guidelines are updated or replaced. This is the basis. The jurisdiction is going to consider it based on the CMF report. And even if we combine both, the gentleman said that they went out to the maximum build out. The limit was still within the FCC standards and was well below. The standard is 5%. The modeling shows way under 1%. It's 1,000th of a percent.
For the T-Mobile antennas that you would like to put here.
Right, and even for the full build out of AT&T, which they said they will not go for, but if we replace their potential build out with T-Mobile's antennas, it is still below the limit. We can provide the formulas, whatever information you need, but the result is still the same. Officially, this site is safe, and we have to go by the FCC regulations.
So, my same questions that I had for Jonathan would apply, and if you could provide us the same set of assumptions and inputs, and how what the sort of design logic of the algorithm is in the software, that those things would be helpful. And if you didn't get all of those notes when we were going through that, I'd share that with you.
I have contact.
Do you have it? Okay.
Get out notes from the meeting.
Can I just ask a question about this? Go. So, I'm not sure how to. I understand that this page is for an antenna that's in the 0-degree sector, so it's probably pointing north, or is that pointing? It doesn't matter. It's pointing in one.
I don't think I can answer detailed questions. I can take notes and address them with the expert because I don't work in the radiation field.
Your firm is giving new terms, the depression angle, for example, that. Okay. So if you, go ahead.
I can invite an RF engineer or an emissions report consultant to come with me because I'm not qualified to be analyzing this report.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us that the corporations passed a law that we cannot take action based on health concerns, even if they are proven. Thanks for that reminder. So far.
Yeah, Phil, a point of information, David, you just mentioned the fact that these are called sector antennas because they're directional. And you asked previously that, what would if they were all fired up at once? Well, you could never get a reading in one place because you would only be 1/3 of the total wattage because they are directional antennas, and I don't know if people understand that. Whereas the antennas that we use are omnidirectional. That's just an information point.
So Maria, thank you for coming up. Sorry we can't deal with this tonight, but we will also continue this item until April 25th.
And we want her to come back with the discussion.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Yeah.
If you can do that, sure.
And Maria, anything you can take from the discussion we had with Jonathan and the questions that we asked him, if you can take any of those.
Right. The only thing is that our reports are very different because they already have equipment and we don't have anything to go by. But if you have specific questions, you can email me until the next meeting and I'll address them.
I would, just about to that point right there because they're all based on the type of antenna and the modeling. So exactly what AT&T has done. Here's our existing antennas. Well, that's easy information to get. Here's our proposed antennas. You have that. That's where the modeling comes from.
Okay.
So it's not part. And we have all the antenna information. So.
And again,
maybe we can add it together.
As we had discussed earlier when Jonathan was here, if your firm is willing to provide the manufacturer's specifications for the particular antenna equipment that you use so that it's plugged into their model, it helps us then achieve the same end.
Right. Did the board receive a copy of the drawings for that site? We have the specifications for the antenna, for the equipment cabinets, for the entire site. So I can forward that in PDF. Definitely you can look at that.
Thank you.
And just as a point, when you do make application to the Marin County, they ask for the exact same information.
Right.
So.
And your signature on the application doesn't mean your approval of it. You have a lease with AT&T. They can sublease it. So you are just aware of the project on site. It doesn't mean that we're going to get approval from the county for this project.
Well, it is us approving it. We've gone through that with the county planning department. Our signature on these applications, the way they explain it to me is it's us approving it, basically.
Okay, thank you.
So that brings us down to item 5C, discussion, consider resolution to memorialize and cap existing commercial EMF levels. And this item is on the agenda because I asked that it be put on, and I think I did that without really fully considering all the issues that it essentially flies in the face of federal law for us to adopt a resolution capping existing commercial EMF levels, since the law is so clear that we can't do that. And so I am asking that this item be removed from the agenda. for further consideration. This does not mean that we cannot discuss the existing EMF levels and positions that the board may wish to take on it. I just think it's premature at this point to think about a resolution that memorializes something that flies in the face of federal law. Don.
Well, I had thought up a resolution that I think addresses your point, and I was going to bring that up tonight. I had mentioned it to David, and that would be along the following lines. And the whereases would be, the Fire Protection National Organization's report and various international bodies and scientific panels who have studied the literature out there and have come to the conclusion that the FCC level should be dropped by about 2 orders of magnitude from where it is now, which we're already exceeding here. And whereas we're right next to a clinic and a place where kids play, which are 2 vulnerable populations, and so forth and so on. For all these reasons, we resolved to make it a goal of the fire district to, do the best we can to hold the levels to where they are now. And we're hearing from Lyle that they are going to be held, but I have some reservations about the validity of the modeling. But we make that a goal of the fire district, to hold it to that level to the extent we can without getting embroiled into a losing lawsuit. And to make it a further goal, or actually an action to, when the lease is up for renewal, to review the whole situation in light of whatever data comes out of the world study of this between now and then, and at that time review all that data and use that to inform whether we're going to renew the lease or not. Because we don't have to renew the lease, and regardless of federal law, we can just say, well, we don't want it here, period, but to just review it at that time, there's a lot of unknowns right now. In 10 years, a lot more is going to be known about it. And by resolving that tonight, we put the carriers on notice that we've got our our own antenna up on this, and maybe they'll think about that and say, well, okay, if we're going to be booted out of here in 10 years, maybe we don't want to spend a lot of money sticking all this stuff up there. Let them live with mediocre reception, which would be fine with any of us. And it would just be a statement of intent without getting us into any legal problems.
Hear, hear. Yes.
So have you provided that draft language to staff?
I'd be happy to do that.
I don't think we can act on it tonight, but we can.
No.
We can put it to a vote of the board next month if they want to consider the resolution. It can be done.
Do you know how to get a hold of us?
So next item for discussion is emergency only access and egress alternatives.
Have we finished that item? Is that closed?
I don't think it is quite.
I won't take up a minute. Thank you. I have, on Don's point, I have 2 resolutions here that I brought for the board's attention on this item, and one is from our largest city, the City and County Council of San Francisco, and one is from the nearby largest school district, LA County District, and they speak to, in these resolutions, your concerns, Phil, as well as reflect a rational precautionary position that has been taken by the LA Unified School District and the City and County of San Francisco. And I would like to submit these to the board as a model that can come in confluence with
No, I want you to close the loop and give Don.
I think it's
Yeah.
good. Give them the
And
Don.
Mary Beth.
I'll keep the loop open. I'll give it to Molly.
Give it to Molly.
I'll give it to Molly.
And she can pass it to us.
Okay. And one brief comment on this. I've spoken to a few people that work with these resolutions and face the same difficulties that we all face here. And the rule of thumb that I've come to understand, this is interpretive. This is not, this doesn't represent any direct, something that one of the directors from these two bodies have told me. This is interpretive. Is that in their struggle to come up with appropriate resolutions that do, in the LA Unified's example, prohibit the siting of antennas near children, schools, playgrounds, clinics, whatever. They prohibit it. They cannot control adjacent municipal, independent, commercial organizations from bombarding the schools, but they recognize that the position they're in, given the hazardous emergency of these inadequate standards, requires them, first and foremost, to draw a resolution that says two things, and this is what the county did. First, the school district says, not near the kids, and please promote further research towards reevaluating the standards. Remember I said last time there were 5 separate states that sued to get relief to have the standards revised. Our closest city, the union that is about firefighters, and our closest, largest school district have all taken the position that we are hoping you will ultimately take in some form of resolution and conduct and choice whether or not to sign contracts. And I think just that is an encouraging precedent, thank you, for us to all take confidence in that it's doable. So I'll give you
I'm from Stinson Beach, and I'm very well aware I'm not a member of Bolinas. Although there was a few years I did pay taxes over here on my own property, and I attended the meetings. I'm also a teacher, and I was taught in San Francisco Unified as some of this was coming in. And we are not technicians, we're not specialists in some of the scientific ends of this. But as the studies were starting to come in, even 10, 12 years ago, on the effects on the growing brain, we as teachers are very conservative about the health of the children. And we said no. Teachers communicate by email. You know, our buddies down in LA, they got a lot of the data from what we did in San Francisco. Now I came over here tonight and I had to laugh, you know, when you were talking about maybe we'd stay till 3 and you were saying you had to work. Well, I've got to be with a bunch of middle schoolers, bright and chipper, at 8 a.m. tomorrow. But I came here because we had temporarily won our struggle in Stinson. Not because of the evidence of the EMF, but because of the northern spotted owl who would have been disturbed if a 100-foot fake tree had gone up next to Panoramic Highway. Our struggle went on for 2 years. You guys, this is small potatoes. And what we did is we were running into the problems with the water board, started by Larry Baskin, who was on the water board at the time and started this effort. We did not ask permission to form a steering committee. We did it.
With the board?
No, they didn't want to do that.
Okay. Don't imply that you asked the board to do that either.
Could we?
No, I'm going to finish. This is not just your struggle. That's why some of us from Stinson are here. This is a struggle that's going on throughout the country. Corporate America dangles money, and they pay people to dangle a lot of money.
Yeah.
I know.
We know this.
Okay.
And time is running out. We've heard this over and over, and some of us actually agree with that.
Okay.
So please.
Okay. No, I'm going to do it fast. I will. But
I mean, if you're as brief as Bob, we will be here till 3.
no, Bob does not have to meet with a group of middle schoolers at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But what I want to bring to the floor here is some of the people on the board have been part of various parts of corporate America. And I think we were all very naive many years ago. And that we really thought for many years, many years, that science could be reliable no matter who funded it. We found out that that's not true. Funding does affect the results and what's published. So I'm just letting you all know that Stinson is going to be involved and we're going to come. I'm gaining information here because we're probably going to have to go back and refight this battle. I think we're going to win it again. But just, Bolinas has always been at the forefront. I'm of the environmental movement. I've been out here since '69. I was here in '71 for the oil spill. And I really was dismayed when the fire board decided in 2005 to go ahead and put up the antennas. We said then, this is what we're going to be 6 years now. We're here 6 years now. Excuse me?
We were here long before too.
No, when they decided to expand it with the type of antennas that we have now with the co-locating facility. And we fought against it and we've said, this is what's going to happen, so we're here now. So I've got to get back home. It's 10:30. I always enjoy the Bolinas meetings. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your support.
You got it. You got it.
Thank you.
Okay, we really need to move on to several other items that we have on our agenda tonight. Is that okay with everybody if we move on with other?
Well, I just have one thing to submit to you.
Sure.
This is just a quick analysis of that first report that we received from AT&T last time about the existing levels and what that translated into comparisons with the health clinic and the amazingly low inside here in this building, but very high in the playground and the clinic, and which is 500 times already higher than the recommended levels according to the latest science. So I'm going to give you copies of this. Oh, I have one more.
Okay, let's move along to a discussion on emergency access and egress alternatives to closure of Terrace Avenue.